If you're in software development, you know this feeling, right? You're under constant pressure to ship faster, faster, faster. But security often feels like this giant speed bump, just a mess of noisy alerts and manual checks. But what if? What if you had an intelligent partner built right into your workflow that made security faster, smarter, and almost invisible? So, why is this stuff so hard in the first place? Well, for one, modern development moves at lightning speed. We're talking constant changes, which means we're getting flooded with security alerts. Pretty soon, nobody has time to look at them, and you get this alert fatigue, which is a massive problem. And now, you throw AI systems into the mix, bam, you've got this whole new universe of complexity, securing the models, the data, even the prompts themselves. And that's exactly where this idea of AI integrated DevSecOps comes in. Look, this isn't about just buying another tool to add to the pile. It's about wiring artificial intelligence directly into every single stage of your development pipeline. The best way to think about it is as an intelligent partner that's continuously checking, testing, and governing everything before it ever sees the light of day. Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll get familiar with this whole AI security copilot idea. Then, we're basically going to follow the life of a piece of code, from securing its supply chain through some really clever and adversarial testing, all the way to deploying it with automated guardrails. And then we'll wrap it all up with the new kind of mindset this all leads to. You know, the best way to think about this whole thing is with that copilot metaphor. Your AI isn't just some passive scanner that spits out a report and calls it a day. No. It's an active, intelligent partner right there in the cockpit with you, assisting developers at every single step. It's offering guidance, it's catching mistakes, and it's handling all that tedious work nobody wants to do. So where does our copilot even begin? Well, it starts right at the beginning of the lifecycle, of course, with the code itself and the software supply chain. You know, catching problems this early, that's where you get the most bang for your buck. It's all about leverage. So for this first part, we're laser focused right here on the code phase. And this really covers two critical areas. First is static code analysis. We call it SAST, which is basically scanning the code you write. And the second is software composition analysis, or SCA, which looks at all the open source libraries and code you're pulling in from the outside world. And this is where things get really interesting. Just look at the difference here. On one side, you've got the old way. A tool just bombards you with alerts, half of them are false alarms, and pretty soon developers are just drowning in noise and learn to ignore it. But on the other side, the AI acts like a brilliant triage agent. It groups similar problems together, it silences the noise, and most importantly, it points you directly to the handful of high-risk issues that actually matter. This is a perfect example of that copilot in action, right? It's happening right inside the developer's editor as they type. It's not just finding problems, it's preventing them from ever happening. It suggests secure ways to write code, it'll flag you if you accidentally paste a password, and it even checks for really AI-specific things, like making sure risky user input isn't being fed directly into a large language model. It's literally like having a senior security expert sitting right next to you, pairing on your code. Okay, so that's the code we write, but what about all that open source stuff we pull in? The old tools would just give you this massive, terrifying list of every known vulnerability. It's completely overwhelming. The AI-enhanced approach? Totally different. The AI, it gets the context. It asks the important questions, like, is that vulnerable piece of code even being used by our app? Or can an attacker on the internet even reach it? And just like that, it transforms that mountain of problems into a clear, prioritized to-do list. And you know, this whole supply chain idea, it gets way more complicated with AI. Suddenly your dependencies aren't just code libraries, now they're pre-trained models you download, massive data sets you use, external APIs you're calling. So the AI helps create what we call a model SBM, a bill of materials for your AI to track where every single one of those components came from. Seriously, think of it like a nutrition label for your AI system. It's absolutely critical. All right, so our code is clean, our supply chain is tight. What's next? Well, we move into the testing phase. And this is where AI plays this really cool dual role. It helps us build incredibly thorough tests, and then it tries its absolute best to break the very system we're building. Okay, now we are smack dab in the middle of the test phase of our pipeline. This covers the whole shebang, from simple unit tests all the way to these really complex AI-specific tests for things like regression and model safety. Okay, but testing AI is, well, it's tricky. With normal software, it's easy, right? You expect the number 4, you get the number 4, test passes. But an AI model might give you a slightly different but still correct answer every time. So how do you test that? Well, you use another AI to act as a referee, sometimes called an LLM judge. This AI judge compares the new model's behavior to the old ones, checking not just for correctness, but for things like safety or bias or tone. It completely changes testing from a simple pass-fail to a deep, continuous behavioral comparison. And this is the fun part. This is where our AI copilot puts on its black hat and turns into the bad guy. It becomes an automated red team, just relentlessly attacking the model, trying to find weaknesses before a real attacker does. And it will try everything, injecting malicious prompts, trying to jailbreak the safety filters, even tricking the model into leaking its own secrets. It's automated, it's tireless, and it is absolutely essential. Okay, our app passed all the tests with flying colors. It's ready to go live. But guess what? The Copilot's job is far from over. Now it transforms into a live guardian, watching over our application once it's out there in the real world. So we're in the home stretch now. Deploy and monitor. This is where the AI actually governs the release process itself, and then keeps a super vigilant watch on the app while it's running in production, dealing with real users and real traffic. Think about how we usually deploy code. It's some person, maybe a little stressed out, looking at a dashboard and making a final go or no-go decision. It's a huge single point of failure. The AI-driven way is, well, it's just so much smarter. It looks at all the data from all the previous stages, the code scans, the test results, everything, and it makes an automated, risk-aware decision. Maybe it decides to release to just 1% of users first, that's a canary release, or maybe it keeps the old version running just in case something goes wrong. And this, right here, this is the ultimate safety net. The AI is constantly watching the live application. If it sees anything, and I mean anything, go wrong, a spike in errors, a drop in safety scores, it doesn't wait for a human. It doesn't page someone at 3 a.m. It just acts. It instantly and automatically rolls the change back to the last stable version and then opens a ticket for the developers with some helpful clues about what it thinks went wrong. So when you step back and look at the whole picture, you realize this isn't just a bunch of cool tools. It's a fundamental shift in how we approach security. It's a whole new way of thinking, one that's actually built for the modern AI-driven world. So let's count them up. When you add it all together, you see that AI isn't just helping in one spot. It enhances 6 critical stages: coding, supply chain management, test creation, adversarial testing, smart deployment, and live monitoring. It's like this intelligent security fabric woven through everything, from the very first line of code to the final user. So let's just boil it down. What does this AI copilot actually do for us? It makes security faster by finding problems early. It makes it smarter by understanding risk and context. It automates all that boring work of writing tests. It performs those deep behavioral checks a human never could. It validates our AI models against attacks, and it acts as our final guardian in production. And all of this brings us to one final, kind of mind-bending thought. The very same technology that's creating all these new, incredibly complex security challenges might just be the only tool powerful enough to solve them. So you have to wonder, is it even possible to properly secure the AI we're building without using AI to do it?